Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about foundations. If you guys don't already know, I am combination to normal skin. I am mostly oily in my T-zone area, and my T-zone area is my forehead, my nose, usually here, and my chin. So it's pretty difficult to find a long wearing foundation, but I feel like a lot of factors fall in to long wearing foundations. It's not just about the actual foundation. It is, but it's also what you use with it to control your oils, whether that's your primer, your facial lotion, and what may be triggering your oils, because like I said in various videos, if you don't know, people who are oily because they lack moisture, and so the face creates more moisture to help the skin out. So today I'm going to talk about my favorite foundations and what works for me. We will be starting with drugstore, and then we will be going up to high-end, and what do we call that, luxury. I probably have like one or two luxuries, but we'll be taking it from there. I'm also going to give other tips on what can help the foundation last longer, what can help with your oily skin, and that's primer, the brushes I use, and sponges that I like to use. So if you guys would like to know my favorite foundations and what works for me, please keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Alright guys, so today we are going to start with affordable foundations. I don't like saying I would say drugstore, stuff you can find at the drugstore. I don't like to say affordable either, because I feel like my price range for affordable may not be everybody else's price range, and we all think differently as far as affordable. So for drugstore products, we're going to start with the LA Girl HD High Definition Foundation. This foundation is really great. I love this foundation. The price is pretty awesome. They are now in Ulta. I bought it at a hair supply store. I believe it was like $5 there, but at Ulta now it's $8.99. I'm the shade Soft Honey, and what I love about this foundation is that it's not very thick. Even though I do like thick foundation, sometimes I like that calmer full coverage, but I don't want to feel it thickness. And overall, for the price, this was a complete game changer. Everybody raved about it for so long. What I like about it is that it lasts all day. Like, it is true to the core. Another product that I bought along with it was this lighter foundation, and the reason I got it was because if you notice, this one is very yellow, and I do have yellow undertones, but this one goes a little overboard. So what I do is I mix these two to lighten it up just a tad bit, and it works just fine. The great thing about this white foundation or mixer, it's a liquid foundation, but you can also use it as a mixer, is if you find yourself with your summer tones and you're moving on to the winter and you have not yet finished, and you know our skin gets lighter in the winter, you can mix this in and it does wonders. It doesn't change the texture. With this foundation, I like to use the e.l.f. moisturizing primer. Yeah, we're gonna hear it. Why don't you use something that mattifies? I don't use anything. I use mattifying primers, but when it comes to more wetter products that have like a dewy outcome, for matte foundations, I personally like to use moisturizers because it really helps keep your skin very plump and moisturized, and it controls the oils, because when you're putting matte and then you already have matte, now you're drying out your face, and so what happens when your face is lacking that moisture, your face is going to produce it. I really enjoy that foundation. It is a hit. It works for oily skin. I'm just combination, like I said, T-zone. Next foundation is my Maybelline Dream Cushion, and you guys can't deny this bad boy. You see it about every other video. This is a bomb. I love this foundation because it is a chew to go foundation. Like, you don't have to get your fingers dirty. All you really have to do is grab a sponge or a brush, tap, and put it in. And I noticed with this foundation, it lasts all day long. I'm the shade True Beige, and this one costs $14.99, and you can find it at Ulta. Very great. I do recommend for those people who just like to go and just keep it pushing and make it fast, especially working women or men who just want to go. My next foundation is my NYX Total Control. As you can see, we are midway, and I like this foundation because it's very watery but matte. When it finishes, it's matte. And I'm the shade Beige. My only issue with this foundation is that the undertones are horrible. I've always fallen under beige in any foundation company. I'm always beige. I'm very yellow undertone. So anything with the word beige is most likely my color. The thing is that this is very, very, very yellow. Like, it looks almost orange in my face. I usually just bronze and highlight a little lighter, but it's a great overall foundation. You don't need much. And the thing with this is that it's very buildable. The price for this is $13.99, and it's a game changer overall for me anyways. My next foundation is, of course, my L'Oreal True Match. This is not a matte foundation, not at all. When I tell you that this thing lasts all day, God. Who said matte was just everything? Well, it's not here. I'm the shade Sun Beige, and I absolutely love this foundation. This is like my work foundation. I prefer to use over really anything. I do have other foundations that I like for all day, but if I know I'm not doing much after, this is my go-to foundation. This foundation is $10.99, and you can find it at Ulta as well. Like I said, with that particular foundation, I will use more of something pore filling and mattifying. So I would use either my Becca matte primer, pat it in my T-zone area, and use that. And I would also use my Benefit POREfessional. Really great combination, I think. Next foundation is my L'Oreal Infallible Matte. And honestly, whose favorite foundation isn't this? This is like one of the best game changers in the drugstore, I must say. And it really lasts for hours. Like, I've known that I went to work, gone out after, and kept it pushing, and all I would really have to do is block. And the thing is that I don't want you guys to think that I'm giving you solutions to stop the oil. I feel like you're going to have oil no matter what. So blotting is always perfect, but you always want to make sure that if you do get oily, your foundation is not going to break up under that. And this doesn't break whatsoever. This is $12.99 at Ulta. You can find it at Duane Reade Rite Aid. To me personally, prices vary where you decide to get it from. Next foundation, which I surprisingly really fallen in love with, is this CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, and I'm the shade Nude Beige. This one retails for $11.99, and it gives you a healthy look, and I do adore a healthy look. I want to look healthy. Like, if I take care of my skin, I take care of my skin. But sometimes we have problems, and this foundation does it. I usually use a mattifying primer with this, and I also make sure I set my face with this. It does last a little bit, doesn't last too long. I wouldn't say this would be like 12 hours. I'd say more 8-9 hours. Keep it, don't push it too far. Also, the great thing about this is that it has SPF 20, and if you don't already know, SPF is very important because It protects your skin from those harmful products. We should all know this. Anyways, moving on to Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is another great affordable foundation. This one retails for $10. Pretty cool, huh? $10. Who said you couldn't be beautiful on a budget? They lie. You could be. Anyways, this is a very, it's not thick. It doesn't fall off thick, but I would say it's medium coverage. It is buildable. I enjoy this because every time I wear it, my skin looks very, very healthy, and I feel like I have to do less work with it. It's a very enjoyable. I like to use my moisturizing foundation. I know this is not, primer. I know this is not a matte foundation, but I feel like it looks a little healthier that way rather than the matte, and I enjoy it. Another product is the Maybelline Superstay. I already told y'all that was like my new favorite, and Maybelline killed it. They killed it. This bad boy retails for $11.99, which is not a very bad price for Maybelline. Not at all. And I am the shade Natural Beige. The thing with this foundation is you want to go at least, I would say, one shade down, because when it sets, it gets a little darker. So I did that, and I feel like this does amazing. I prefer to put it on with a brush, and I use the Fenty Beauty matte primer, which we all know it's not matte. It's not. It's moisturizing, and I think I know where Rihanna was going with that, which I appreciated because I get it. Anyways, I love to use it with my Fenty primer. It is the perfect combination, and I get like the most flawless look. I can go all day. Moving on, guys. The last drugstore product I have, I believe, yes, last product, yeah, my last drugstore foundation is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This one is the cheapest out of the bunch. This is $6, and I adored this foundation. This was a whole game changer for me. When this first came around, I was into foundation, but I wasn't so like I need like 10 foundations. No, I was more, I had like 3-4 foundations. I called it a day, and when I got it, I loved every minute of it. I still enjoy it. Their concealer is amazing. Wet n Wild is a company that is coming up, and they have drugstore prices. To me, they're affordable to me. And I use a mattifying primer with it. It lasts all day. I don't notice it ever move when I put stuff on top of it. Setting it is beautifully. I really don't have issues with it. There's no complaints here, honey. Now we are going to move to luxury and high-end. And I'm just going to throw it in there because honestly, I don't have that much high-end or luxury. I'm very... I tend to lean more to drugstore because I know what it is to not be able to not to be able to go and get that expensive thing. And sometimes when I did, I found it more unnecessary because there was something in the drugstore that did either the same or just like outdid that product. And that's the thing, when you look for those things and you test things, you find things that work for you. So I don't have a lot. I have 6 high-end and luxury foundations. And the first foundation, which is luxury, we're going to start, I know, bougie as hell, my YSL foundation. And I had another foundation before that, which I'm going to talk about here because it is amazing. But that was my first high-end foundation ever, and I enjoyed this one. And then when I went to the luxury end, I was like, wow, who knew? Now I understand why some people prefer some things. This one is amazing. It is matte. I use moisturizer with it. I enjoy every minute of it. And with the YSL one, I am Warm Honey. Has very yellow undertones. Honestly, I think I like to use a brush better with this. I'm going to show you some of the brushes that I do enjoy using with this. But this is one of the best foundations for people who have oily skin. And it is full coverage. Like, you don't need to keep adding to make it full coverage. It's full coverage. I only do about 1.5 pumps to do my entire face, and I'm good to go. My second and my favorite. Guys, when I tell you this is my favorite high-end foundation, let's put it like this. I would choose this for a magnificent event over anything on my table right now. Just like, and it's a Kormai Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. It is the bomb. Like, we could sit here and argue. I'm clocking y'all. I'm waiting for some arguments. It's my favorite foundation, so y'all can argue on my opinion. I am the shade Cashew. This is a full coverage foundation, and I'm not talking about like it's light full coverage. I'm talking about this is a full coverage. It doesn't go on thick, which is an amazing thing about this, but it hides every little nick and cranny. Okay, it goes there. It don't set on your fine lines because I have smile lines, if you guys can see. I'm zooming out. I have smile lines, and so finding foundations that don't set in here, and look at these little dimples, is very important to me. I also have these lines here, and my nose, I feel like because I am oily, I have issues finding stuff that stays there. A lot of the time I have a hard time with my nose area in finding a foundation that sticks. And I have a trick for that. I do. I learned it from another YouTuber. I don't remember who. But I did. And when I find who it was, I'm going to link them down below so I can give them their props. But this foundation, I don't need to use the method that I use, which is pretty amazing. I enjoy that. And I think this foundation speaks for itself. This is literally an all-day foundation. You do have to blot, like I said, but it doesn't break. It doesn't move. I can be from morning to like 7 in the morning to 3 in the morning, and I look like God has touched upon me. I'm just saying. It is the best. I use moisturizer primers for this. My favorite is, of course, Fenty as of lately. Another drugstore primer that I absolutely adore is the e.l.f. moisturizing primer. It is one of the best drugstore primers out there. It gets the job done. I like to use it a lot. Before I got my Fenty primer, that was the one that I would go to all the time, and my Estee Lauder looked gorgeous. I think I spent too much time on this one. But anyways, this one retails for $42. You can find it at Ulta and Sephora, which is a good thing. My next one is my Fenty. I like this because it's very lightweight. It is matte, and it's full coverage, and it gets the job done. I use a Fenty primer with it. I like to use a sponge with it, but that's where we're going to leave it at. I don't feel like it's a product that you need to pile on. It's very quick, easy, get to the point, we're done. Next foundation is my Kat Von D. Kat Von D was a game changer for me, okay guys? I got Kat Von D before I got Estee Lauder. So then when I got Estee Lauder, I was kind of used to the full coverage, but it was like, wow. Kat Von D retails for $35. This is a very full coverage foundation. A little Honestly, a little goes a long way. It is the foundation I am wearing today. And what I enjoy about this foundation is because, like I told you guys, you can see it is not setting. It looks very flawless on my skin. I feel like I look airbrushed. And I use a sponge with this. This is a sponge I used today with this. And honestly, guys, if you don't want Estee Lauder, at least get Kat Von D. She know what she doing. It is a game changer. I use moisturizer with it, primer, of course, and I use a sponge with it. It goes on better than a brush. I feel like with the brush, it looks like it's streaking, which a lot of matte foundations can have that cause. Keep doing your thing, Kat Von D. Anyways, my next foundation is Tarte, and is their gel hybrid foundation. I believe they removed them for good because there was a sale, and this was before Tarte Shape Tape foundation was announced. It was a sale with Ulta, and of course I packed on 2 of them. I didn't know they were going out of stock. I just went online to check the prices, and they are nowhere to be found. This is a game changer, guys. This is a gel foundation, and if you don't know, gel moisturizes. Anything gel on an oily combination skin helps with the oils. If you have problems with oils, a gel moisturizer is the best recommended product you can have for your oily skin. It not only gives you that boost of moisturizing you need, it feels like water. It like soaks in. Like Tarte makes a great H2O gel moisturizer. I don't like it too much because it feels too sticky, so I use the Garnier one, and now I can't find it nowhere. I think they went out too. But anyways, gel products are really essential to our skin. It helps with your oil. Anyway, this is a full coverage foundation. A little goes a long way. Full coverage. And I know I'm into full coverage, guys. I am a full glam girl. I apologize, but I adore it. Honestly, I kind of feel guilty that I just brought it up because there's nowhere for it to be found. But you know, for those who got it, sound down below. Tell me if you think Tarte should bring it back out, because there is a lot of controversy with the Tarte Shape Tape. I do hear the Tarte Shape Tape kind of resembles this foundation, but I'm not going to talk because I didn't try it yet, and I'm still contemplating if I should. Moving on, my last and final favorite foundation. This foundation was my first ever high-end foundation, and it has my heart. It is my Lancome Tint Idol Ultra 24-hour makeup foundation. And this, if you go to any Sephora store or Ulta, this is probably the most recommended foundation for oily skin and combination. The most recommended. And it lasts. Like that 24-hour, I never tried it for 24 hours, but I'm sure if I was to ever do it, it wouldn't disappoint. I use it with the moisturizer. Adore. So I gave you guys a couple different options. I gave you drugstore, and I gave you high-end and luxury, depending on what you like. Now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to talk about foundation, ways I like to apply my foundation. And I think I have like only 2 ways. It's either a sponge, and I like the NYX sponges. I also like the Real Technique ones. They're really good. These are affordable ones. I also like my beauty blenders. I'm bougie as shit, I'm sorry, but I must say, these drugstore companies are competing. Like they are like Morphe has a great contour and highlight sponge. I use it for foundation and for highlighting my under eyes. Amazing. It's like the texture keeps it there and doesn't soak up too much, which I think is why a lot of people is pulling away from the beauty blender and moving on to bigger and better things, because they are coming out with bigger and better things. Other ways I like to apply my foundation is with this Juvia's Place. Doesn't have a name, guys, but it is from Juvia's Place, if you guys can see. And this foundation brush, amazing. This I usually just pack it into my face. I don't go I don't rub it off too much because I do have this side of my face is normal, and if you don't know, rubbing can kind of make your skin pick up if you have any dry patches. I like to pat it in so I don't get the streaking marks, and I personally like to use this more with my Lancome. Great foundation brush. The only thing is this foundation brush does not sell as a single at Juvia's Place. It must be bought with their kit. To me, it's worth it. They're not that expensive. Another brush is my Artis Brushcraft brush, number 07, and this is like their luxury Artis. This is just a little more affordable, and no, I don't mean affordable like drugstore affordable. I mean like it's still high in price, just not ridiculously high as their Artis luxury collection. So this is from Artis, and the reason I love this is because if you notice, this is very flat. Very flat, and that's very important because I know there's bulky ones, like Artis makes a little bulky one, but this one is used more for contouring or like highlighting, whereas this is more flat and it's able to get that foundation without the streaking. You can also pat it on. I like to rub it, and the theory with this is you don't want to go like too rough. You want to just go softly and let it do its job. I think it makes the job a lot faster, and I enjoy that. Another foundation brush that I recently, not gonna say discovered because I've been seeing it everywhere, but you know, I had to judge for myself, because there is a thing that something always wrong with Morphe. I don't know, I don't judge. Like, if I didn't try you, I'm not gonna join the bandwagon. I'm gonna either give you a try and then talk the shit I need to talk, or I'm gonna keep it shut because I ain't try you and it ain't nothing for me to judge. And I know there's a lot of people have that bandwagon issue, but we're gonna leave it at that. This is the Morphe Y6. Very enjoyable brush, guys. Like, I know Laura Lee loves this brush, and I know everybody gives her shit because she's an affiliate, and you know what, we all gotta earn our coins somehow. I'm not an affiliate, so this is not an affiliated video. It is not sponsored, but I love this brush, and the reason I love it is because it's flat but not too flat, and it's dense but not too dense. Like, it's very soft, and it just gets the foundation in that area. And I do like using this one for rubbing it because it doesn't give you that streaking motion, especially for the thick foundations. Like, I think I used it with the I believe I used it with Maybelline and the YSL one, and I get scared to use foundation brushes with those because those tend to streak. That's why I like to pat it in to get the full coverage, and I loved it. Like, that was a game changer, girl. It was. Another foundation brush is a Juvia's Place foundation brush. This is the last brush I'm going to talk about because I obviously can go for days talking. But this one, you notice, is a bulky look. It's more rounder on the top, and I like it because it's dense, but it gets the job done. And I feel like because it's so dense, it creates less streaking. Like, there's no room for streaking, and I enjoy this one. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found some new foundations you might want to try. And, you know, maybe there is some comparisons with me and some other people out there who use the foundations that I use. Whether that's one of them, two of them, all of them. I ain't gonna say all of them. But it's great to find somebody who trusts your expertise because they can say it for themselves. I enjoy that. I hope you guys found this video very knowledgeable. In the future, I want to talk about my favorite primers for my skin type. So sound off if you would like to see that video. Also, guys, I hope you guys like this look. I'm like really digging it. This is the Subculture palette on my eyes right now, and girl, look at that. Look at that. That's a beautiful look. Like, I'm enjoying it. On my lips, I have ColourPop's lip gloss. It's like a shifting one. But I do enjoy this look, And I'm wearing lashes. I don't ever wear lashes. It has to be really important, but I said, F it, we're gonna do it today. I hope you guys enjoy this or are liking this look. If you would like a tutorial on this look, I would love to give it to you guys. Just let me know if you would like to see that. Also guys, don't forget to subscribe. Tell me what was your favorite foundation thus far, which foundation you would like to try, and which foundation you had a bad time with, because not all of our skin are the same. We all have different skin problems, and even if we're all oily, doesn't mean that all the same things work for us. Let me know if there's other foundations you would like me to try out, and any primers for my skin type that you would like me to try out. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Bye.